Everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about the key components of a comprehensive and ethical data management plan for your research. This video aligns with your upcoming assignment, and I strongly encourage you to visit the Assignment 4 page in Blackboard to review detailed instructions, formatting expectations, and any other specific prompts included to be successful in this assignment. In this session, I'll walk you through the 8 core areas of data management, explain the ethical best practices for each, and highlight your expectations. Your narrative assignment should not only just describe these areas, it should evaluate, critique, and synthesize the peer-reviewed literature to support the decisions you describe. When we talk about data ownership, we're really referring to the question of who is responsible for data. Early in your research design, you must understand that ownership may be shared among multiple stakeholders, including you as the principal investigator, your institution, your funding agency, and the participants themselves. Ethical best practice, as emphasized in the research ethics literature, requires a transparent acknowledgement of each of these roles. A robust data ownership plan clarifies the rights and responsibilities regarding access, use, and long-term stewardship of data. It reflects the institutional and funder policies and communicates ownership expectations clearly in your informed consent materials when applicable. Scholarship in responsible conduct of research underscores that ambiguity around ownership leads to ethical confusion, disputes, and added risks to losing participant trust. So clarity here is non-negotiable. Your data collection plan should describe what data you will gather, how you will gather it, and why it's necessary for answering your research questions. From an ethical standpoint, you should only collect data that are directly related to your research objectives. Avoid gathering sensitive data that are not essential because unnecessary data increases the risk to participants. Ensure your data collection methods uphold respect for persons and justice by accommodating to participant comfort, cultural considerations, and voluntary participation. Research ethics literature emphasizes that data collection is an extension of informed consent, and participants should understand what is being collected, how, and by whom. Data storage refers to where and how your data will be housed during the course of your study. Ethical best practices include using a secure backed up storage system, following institutional guidelines for encrypted storage when data are sensitive, and differentiating storage strategies for identifiable versus non-identifiable data. Your narrative should discuss how your storage choices protect the integrity of data and safeguard participant information. For example, keeping identifiable information in a separate encrypted location from research data is a widely recommended strategy because it minimizes the chances of a breach. Linked with storage, data protection focuses on preventing unauthorized access, breaches, or misuse. Best practices in the literature recommend limiting access to data only to those individuals who are essential to the research, implementing strong password protection and encryption, and training all members of the research team in ethical data handling. When data involve human participants, especially sensitive or health-related information, data protection is not just best practice. It's an obligation grounded in respect for privacy and confidentiality. Data retention is about how long you will keep your research data after it has been collected. Ethical expectations include retaining data long enough to support verification and findings and possible replication, complying with institutional, disciplinary, or funder requirements, and planning for eventual secure deletion or archiving. Scholarly sources emphasize that indefinite retention can expose participants to unnecessary risk, while premature destruction can undermine scientific accountability. Your narrative should explain your chosen timeline and justify it with literature. Your plan for data analysis should describe how you will process and interpret your data to answer your research questions. Ethically, data analysis must be systematic and transparent, free from manipulation or selective reporting, and grounded in analytical rigor appropriate to your methodology. You should discuss how you will avoid bias, how you will check for validity and reliability, and how you will document analytic decisions. The literature on ethical practices stresses that poor analysis is not a neutral error. It can misrepresent populations and erode trust in research. Data sharing refers to whether, how, and with whom you will share your research data after the study. Best practices here include making de-identified data available when possible to support transparency and reproducibility. Ensuring that any shared data preserve participant anonymity and confidentiality. Complying with legal, ethical, and IRB-approved restrictions on data dissemination. In your narrative, be sure that you are discussing the conditions under which data would be shared and the safeguards you will use to protect participants. Ethical literature supports data sharing when it enhances science, provided that participant protections are upheld. Finally, data reporting involves how research findings will be communicated in dissertations, publications, presentations, or other forums. Ethical best practice dictate that reporting accurately reflects your methodology, analysis, and results, avoids fabrication, falsification, or selective omission, and presents findings with respect for participants, avoiding unnecessary identifiers or stigmatizing language. Your narrative should tie the reporting plan back to the ethical principles of honesty, transparency, and respect for persons. Each of these areas is essential for comprehensive and ethically responsible data management plan. As you write your assignment, integrate and cite peer-reviewed literature that evaluates best practices, critiques common pitfalls, and supports the strategies you choose for your own research conduct or context. And again, be sure you visit the Assignment 4 page in Blackboard for details on formatting, length, and specific expectations. Approach this not as a task or a checklist, but as an opportunity to demonstrate your ability to think like a research scholar, one who protects participants, maintains scientific integrity, and contributes ethically to your field.